Hello, I am Husnan Ali. I am here to present my final project of Business and Corporations Law. It's all around about the case law ASIC versus Fludge and Geary. Case introduction. The case law ASIC versus Fludge and Geary is about the company AWB against the directors of which ASIC claimed for the civil penalty. Supreme Court of Victoria 2016. Mainly, there were two directors involved in the case, consist of former chairman and the director of AWB as the Trevor Fludge and former senior officer of the company as Peter Geary. Thus, the purpose of the case is to highlight the three key aspects of the duties of directors that were not followed on in the given context. As a result, the directors involved as did not act with reasonable care and diligence, in good faith and for a proper purpose. Now we come to the background of the case. The background of case law ASIC versus Fludge and Geary 2016 revolves around the development of contract of sale between the company AWB and the government of Iraq. The contract was decided as after the payment of inland transportation fees. Thus, the deal was signed out for the sale of wheat to the government. However, while trade at the international level, it was considered as necessary to follow on the UN Security Council resolutions and fulfill the terms and conditions. The directors of the company discovered a clear approval through the UN. Now we come to the breach of the statutory responsibilities. There was a breach of duty under Section 181 of the Corporations Act 2001, in the light of which directors of company require act with due diligence and care. According to Queensland Government 2016, the director of AWB did not consider the inland transportation fees when took approval through the UN. On the other hand, there was a breach of Section 181 of the Corporations Act 2001, in the light of which directors of the company require act in good faith and for appropriate purpose. The action of director caused financial and reputation loss to itself but the company too. Now the judgment of the court. Judgment in the court gives separate judgment for both of the two directors as Trevor Fludge and Peter Geary. Trevor Fludge was mainly held liable due to the several reasons, such as had a sufficient amount of knowledge about the deal and its terms and conditions while conducted meeting with the concerned authorities too. Now, it's continued to the Peter Geary judgment. On the other hand, Peter Geary did not appear so far much liable due to the unawareness of the matter. The officer did not have enough knowledge and act with honesty and reasonable care while took all the decisions for a purpose use. Now the relevance of the decision. Regarding the relevance of the decision, so the case law is considered as much significance for the directors of the companies operating in Australia. Through this, companies could implement the relevant codes of conduct as well as stringent control and monitoring policies to help fight financial and reputation loss. The reference is Duplessis, Hargovan and Bagrick 2010. Now it continues towards the risk assessment. Also, it is important for directors to identify the relevant flaws in the organizational dealings or matters and report to the senior management. In this area, one of the most important strategies is to implement an effective risk assessment policy in which you have to consistent control and monitoring, define the relevant codes of conduct, which results in financial and reputation loss, results in infringement of directors' duties, and which results in infringement of the rights of the firm because they didn't care. Now come to the references. Here are some references from which we collect the data. The main reference is from the website of the SIC. It's the database of the law, and the other are given are as follows. Thanks a lot.